name is Sasan, and I am the Arctic Dungeon Master. Now, I want to start off by saying that I'm not the only Dungeon Master in the Arctic. I'm not the only Dungeon Master in Alaska. The Arctic Dungeon Master is just a name that I had to pull out of a hat to start getting a basis to do this video blog series. Now, aren't there already a million of these guys out on YouTube doing videos about Dungeons and Dragons? Yes, there are. But what's wrong with 1,000,001? I'm just one more, giving it from perspective from up here in Alaska. I'm sorry if I'm going to offend anyone. That's not my intention. Am I new to Dungeons and Dragons? Yes. But it has sadly evolved from, let's just say, I have fallen into it very, very deeply. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about it. I build a lot of terrain for it. I have purchased quite a bit of books. Whether or not they're secondhand, that does not matter. At this point, they are all secondhand. But I do a subscription box for Dungeons and Dragons too. So I'll talk about all that in this video series. And I'll discuss it and all that jazz. I'll talk about DMing games. I'll talk about playing games. Because it's important, I think, for Dungeon Masters to also play in other people's games. Alright, so before I was interrupted, I was talking about how I just thought it would be interesting to give a perspective from a new person, someone who is new to the game of Dungeons and Dragons, and someone who is new at being a Dungeon Master, and someone who is new at building terrain, and someone who is new at creating their own adventures and campaigns and whatnot. And I thought that would be the way I would do my video series, just talking from that different perspective. Because let's face it, I'm not a great crafts person like Black Magic Craft, and I'm no Professor Scotty or Dungeon Master Scotty, whatever he goes by. I'm just me, Sasan, up here in Alaska, enjoying the game with what resources are available. And I'll talk about that too, about what I have at my local shop, what I get online, what I make. And in the meantime, expect more interruptions and stuff like that during the videos. I live in a house full of 3 little girls and a wife, 3 dogs and cats. Things get interrupted and projects take a long time, and I'll show that too. Alright, now I'm working on a castle that is just such tedious, time consuming, and it's like, why am I doing this out of eggshells and cardboard? Whereas if I was to make it out of XPS foam, it might be done, but it might not look that good. I'm not great with XPS foam, but I want to show what I've done as well too. You know what I mean? I want to talk about creating terrain, whether it be buildings or rocks or other stuff. I want to talk about being a dungeon master and stuff like that. I want to show you maps that I get through my Dungeon in a Box. I really want to talk about that because I like Dungeon in a Box, and I think it is a great option for someone, 1, in Alaska, and 2, someone who doesn't want to spend a lot of money on this, being a dungeon master, because I give a great amount of resources for a very little price. I want to show you the plastic minis that I get that are pre-painted, because I love pre-painting. Blah, blah, blah. I love pre-painted minis. I don't know why. I think they're great, especially for kids and whatnot, because they're much more sturdier than like the Whiz Kids and the Reaper Bones that you get and you paint. For some odd reason, I don't like kids touching those. The paint job does not last as long as the ones that are pre-painted. Those are by far more durable, I would say. And I'd rather have my kids with their grimy Dorito nacho hands touching those than ones where someone had spent a lot of time painting. But that's just me. I want to talk about all kinds of things. I want to talk about building my own campaigns. I have a campaign that I built. I think it's great. People I know like it and enjoy it. I want to talk about that. What is the difficulties in that? Which, coming from writing a fantasy novels background, I don't see as hard or difficult. And then I think actually the hardest thing actually was creating the map that I did, because I have one map that I did myself, and then I had another map that was outsourced, and I want to talk about that because there are free and cheap tools to use if creating your own campaigns is something you want to do. It's completely up to you guys. So I want to talk about that. I guess you call it homebrewing or whatever. So I want to talk about that. So I want to talk about creating terrain. I want to talk about DMing. I want to talk about Dungeon in a Box because I love it. I want to talk about pre-painted minis because I love those. Every time I get one, I'll make sure to open it here. And I want to talk about creating your own campaigns or homebrewing, whatever you want to call it. That's what I want to focus on. So there's already a million channels or video series talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I am the 1,000,000th. Again, my name is Hassan, and I am the Arctic Dungeon Master. So go ahead and share this. Maybe. Go ahead and like the video. Yeah, subscribe. That'd be cool. Until next time.